Hey, Scott Russell, just wanted to have a few thoughts about the state of the world, where things are going. I'm a dual citizen with the US, so I have and travelled quite extensively, lived in Portugal. And so I just have a bit more of a global perspective, and I run these online groups, the Global Freedom Movement, which got restricted years ago. They basically, even this Too Free Scott, you good luck trying to find it if you're on Facebook. They are shadow banning, and I've watched global patterns unfold everywhere, and I think the governments of the world think they're in control. They're drunk on their own power, they're drunk on their own importance, and they're not seeing that they're puppet masters. They're just pawns that are being used and to sell out their own people, to sell out their own country. And they may have great and pure intent, but the men behind them don't. And these men are expendable, these local politicians and leaders, police chiefs and people like that, they're expendable. One day they'll hide under their own beds in regret from what they've done to their families and their children, because they don't see, they think they don't have the ability to make any difference, and they do. And I think someone's going to watch that, what I'm saying, and a police chief, and you're going to understand that you've sold out your own country, you've sold out your own people, your own children, and the future of your own children. You think there's nothing you can do, but evil abounds when good men do nothing. I believe that a lot of the real estate pricing that people say, well, real estate's going up, it's inflation. I mean, come on, think about it. There's no other explanation for it. If you're not improving the value of your property and it's going up exponentially, it's inflation, because inflation is off the charts. We're watching as they're bringing in the cashless society, and I think so much drama. I talk to people around me who are so caught up in the news, Sky News or whatever news, and it's like, oh, this has happened, and Taylor Swift wears this dress, or they said this about the Jews, they said this about the Arabs, there might be a war here, there's a trans thing going on, and they're doing everything they can to keep people busy with stupidity. Not that those things are necessarily stupid, but we're stupid if we give our whole attention to it. And so people are getting so sucked into things that they do well to say, I see that, I'm aware of that, I'm not happy about that, and I'll address that. But I need to focus on what I'm doing right now. And you need to, I believe, we need to focus on, if you haven't already, and I've got numerous videos on this, the fact that we are about to see a currency collapse. The US, it's all hinged around that US presidential election. If they can have the US fall, they've got the world. Australia's already lined up. It's already been sold out. It's just overnight, they will just bring in what they want to bring in. It's already in place. We've seen the videos that are on there. They've made the central bank digital currency. They've done trials on the cards, out in the wild, so to speak. It's there. It's just a matter of the timing. They are globally coordinating the timing of this, coming from the globalists out of the World Economic Forum. The US presidential election, I've said it in other videos, I do believe Trump is the one that they want in there. Whether or not Trump is a globalist, I don't know. I don't know Trump. And nothing's what it seems anymore, because they own the narrative and the counter-narrative. But like I've said, I believe what they are doing is using Trump to sell a central bank digital currency. They will use him to sell a central bank digital currency to the conservative Christians. Now, Trump's come out and said, I will never allow a central bank digital currency. But do we listen to politicians? I think when he has no choice, when the world is the pin's being pulled and they need to trade in something, there will be a form of central bank digital currency that he will allow. They will get the foot in the door for it, because the conservative Christians will not allow it through the left. It won't happen. They have to get somebody, a movement behind Trump, conservative Christians that think he's bigger than Jesus, as I've said. He will be used to usher in a central bank digital currency, because people think he is better than Jesus, and he's not. So we're going to see that. The US mayhem and immigration and just one crazy thing. You wake up each day, there's a new crazy thing happening, because they want us focused on that. Because when we're focused on that and we're not looking at the fact that they've overinflated our money and they're taking it away, they're going to keep, however they do it, it's basically going to be, you're going to get one central bank digital currency You know, a loaf of bread might cost you one central bank digital currency. But if you want to stay on local currency, it's going to cost you $10. And they will gradually overinflate the local currency to go away, and it'll all be a transition and it'll be coercion. They want that. They want us to see that we are losing our identity and our freedoms. They have outright said, they're not hiding it, that they are going to cause food shortages in the world, that they are going to reduce the world's population from 8 billion to something like 500 million. The World Economic Forum has said that. They've said that we've penetrated all the local cabinets in governments. You know, they don't put on the news that they've burnt a lot of the food plants, do they? They don't put on the news that, you know, a year or two ago, chicken farms were catching fire. They don't put on the news that they're trying to close 3,000 farms in the Netherlands. They don't put in the news that they're doing it in Australia. They're out, and they do it through the environmental agenda. They make it so unprofitable to be in business because they have said they are going to close farms. And as they are closing farms, what does that do? It produces food shortages. So what are they going to do? Let's keep everybody fighting about things like trans. And I'm afraid I love people no matter what they are. I don't love their choices. I don't love what they do, but let's call a spade a spade. Trans is a way of dressing things up and saying homosexuality. It's homosexuality, and they are scared of homosexuality to call it homosexuality. It is what it is. If you are trans, you are homosexual. And that's the long and the short of it. Why aren't you proud of that if you're so proud of what you are? Be proud of that. But what do? They create the drama and they try to make that the big thing, and all these other dramas that they bring around to try to stop people seeing you're about to lose your way of life with a central bank digital currency. We are facing food shortages. People here in Australia and go, no, life's pretty normal. Come on, use your brain, use the common sense brain and look and go, how can it be normal with everything we've been through? Look outside the Australian borders and see what's happening in other parts of the world, and you'll see that they are collapsing things. They are aligning everything to be the same globally, and then they will pull the pin on the currency of the US currency and the currency of the world, and the central bank digital currency will come into play. Yes, I believe that will be before the US presidential election of November 2024. I hope I'm wrong. Prove me wrong and I'll celebrate with you. I would love to think that we have more time. People are just asleep. They've been lulled to sleep with thinking that everything's okay, and they don't want to hear of more drama, so they don't even listen to videos like this because they're going, oh, it's just more drama, more fear. And that's what they're counting on, the fact that they can put into each and every person the fact that, oh, no, the government's got you. We're all fine. You know, it's outrageous. It's outrageous. If you can, I do believe BRICS is, because it's the same language as the World Economic Forum. BRICS is part of the multipolar world. They say that. WEF says that. And so it is part of the new system. If the elites are going to crash the West, they've got to have somewhere to put their money and somewhere to put their resources so they don't end up losing everything too. I believe BRICS is that, because the BRICS countries pretty much already are socialist or communist, or have socialist communist governments. So they are already where they need to be. They will do as they're told. So I think if you can, maybe if you're in the West, it's a good idea to get some sort of income stream coming from a BRICS country, say like Brazil, somewhere like that. Get some sort of something happening in those countries if you have access to that. And I think that that is a good hedge for what we're about to see in the West. The Western countries are in for a big ride here, and people will just jump on and say there's nothing wrong with this central bank digital currency or whatever. They'll flock to it because they want normal, but they don't see that, and they're not initially going to tell you all the draconian measures behind it. They're going to make it so polite. People will sign on, and then just step by step they will erode your freedoms because you signed it away when you took it. Pay attention. Let your family be safe in God. Draw into what God has for your life. You don't know how to hear the voice of God. Pray, talk to him like I'm talking to you, and follow the peace. When there's peace inside of you, follow the peace. When you lose the peace, step back, go for a walk, do what you need to do to empty out and get that peace back, and follow the peace, because right there is your answer. Because really, God's got each and every one of us.